Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. I am Anjana from LearnoHub, the free learning platform where you can study math, science and SST absolutely free at learnohub.com. In today's class, we are going to discuss ICSE Class 10 Maths Chapter 12 Reflection. We will be understanding all the concepts with examples and solve more questions from exercise 12A. Are you all ready? Yes, let's learn together. Before going on to reflections, first let us understand what coordinate axis and coordinates are. The two mutually perpendicular lines intersecting each other at their zeros are called rectangular axis, coordinate axis or axis of reference. We have studied all this in previous classes, but still we'll just explain this. Here I am drawing a horizontal line. This is a horizontal number line. On number line we'll be having 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Now I am taking a vertical line. This is a vertical number line. Here again we have 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. When they intersect each other, mutually perpendicular. Here we are taking the horizontal line and the vertical line. They intersect each other at their zeros. Here we have the 0 of the horizontal line, 0 of the vertical line. They are intersecting each other at the 0. Towards the right we have 1, 2, 3. Towards left we have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Above the horizontal line we have plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Below we have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This horizontal line is called the x-axis or the horizontal axis, x-axis. And we represent x-axis as x, O, x dash. The 0 point is O. And it is called origin. Okay, origin. So, representation of x-axis is x, O, x dash. Now, the vertical line is called y-axis and represented by y, O, y dash. Got it? Vertical line is represented by y, O, y dash and it is called y-axis. So, here just understand these things. What is x-axis, what is y-axis and what is origin. Okay, clear? Reflection. Reflection is a term we are all familiar with. Morning we wake up and see our reflection in the mirror. All of us do this, right? Yes. How do you represent a mirror? We have studied in physics. This is how you represent a mirror. We will be shading the back side. Yes. When an object is placed here, see a person is placed here. His reflection will be appearing in the opposite side. We have studied about the properties of images. When an object is placed in front of a plane mirror, the image form will be of the same size. It will be at a distance that is equal to the distance from the object to the mirror. All of this we have studied, right? The image will be erect. The image will be virtual. Virtual in the sense we cannot touch the image. It is not a real image. All of this we have studied. Now let us consider this person is at 1 meter from the mirror. Where does his image form? His image will be formed in the opposite side of the same size and at a distance 1 meter. This is the basic idea, right? Here we are considering a vertical mirror. The mirror is placed vertically. That is similar to our y-axis. Okay. Now, if I am considering another mirror, see, I am horizontally placing this mirror. Horizontally placing this mirror and an object is placed here. Let us consider a bowl. I am placing this bowl here. Where does the image appear? Image appears at a distance that is equal to the distance from the bowl to the mirror in the opposite side. Here bowl is placed to the top of the mirror, which means the image will be formed at the bottom. Here we will be getting an image which is at a distance. Say this ball is at 2 meter from the mirror. Then the image will also be at 2 meter from the mirror. They will be of same size. So, So this is the basic idea about reflection. Now how does this reflection helps in coordinate geometry? Let us see this. Let us consider a line AB. AB. Okay. We are considering a point P. We know this point can be represented using the coordinate x coordinate and y coordinate. P of xy. This is the object. Okay. This is object. For this object there will be an image when the reflection happens. Here our plane mirror is AB. Where will the image be formed? Image will be formed in this side. So this image will be representing as P dash, X dash, Y dash. Okay. The image, we are using dash to represent the image P dash, X dash, Y dash. For a point P considered with coordinates X, Y, when the reflection happens along the vertical AB line, the image is formed and represented by P dash, X dash, Y dash. Now, when I join these 2 points, that is our first point P and the image point P dash. I am joining them. When you see this, you can find here, this is a perpendicular bisector. AB bisects P dash equally. And the angle here is 90 degree. So this is called a perpendicular bisector. Therefore, this AB is also called mirror line. Mirror line or the mediator. Just remember these things. This line AB which bisects P dash perpendicularly is called the mirror line or the mediator. Okay. So this is a basic idea. Now what is reflection? Reflection is the transformation that maps P to P dash. From P we can get P dash. This transformation is called reflection. Okay. Just remember these points. Now there are different types of reflection based on the line of axis. Here if the reflection is along x axis or along the y axis, it depends, right? Initially we have taken examples, a person is standing in front of a mirror, that time we place the mirror vertically, which was similar to the y axis. Then we placed a bowl where the mirror was placed horizontally, x axis. Similarly, when x axis is considered for reflection, y axis is considered for reflection, there are different ways in which the image is formed. Also, the reflection along origin will be discussing. Now, reflection is represented by M, and if this L can be x axis, y axis or origin. If the reflection is in x axis, then we represent it as mx. If the reflection is in y axis, then we represent it as my. And if reflection is in origin, we represent it by mo. Okay, we will discuss this in detail. Let us see reflection of point on x-axis. We know what is reflection by now. Consider x-axis and y-axis. This is xo x dash, yo y dash. We are considering x-axis as the plane mirror. Okay, plane mirror or the mirror line is the x-axis. An object is placed here. We represent it by point P. Consider a point P, x, y. X, y is the coordinate of point P, which means the object has moved from the origin x distance along the x-axis and y distance along the y-axis. The distance moved from the y-axis is the x coordinate and the distance moved from the x-axis is the y coordinate. We know all these things, right? Okay. Now, when the object is reflected in the x-axis, we know in the x-axis all the y coordinates will be equal to 0. If you consider a point here, there is some value for x but the y value will be equal to 0. Here there is no movement along the y-axis. Here if you consider a point, again x coordinate there will be some value, y coordinate will be 0. Now when the reflection happens, we get the image here, which is our P dash. We represent image by P dash. Now what are the coordinates of P dash? Here we know the distance moved from the y-axis is the x coordinate. When you check for the object, here the object is moving x distance. Yes, from the y-axis object is moving x distance. What about the image? Image is also moving the same x distance, right? Here, this line when you consider P and P dash, they are along this line, which means the x distance moved is the same. Therefore, x coordinate is x. What about y coordinate? Here, to reach this point, this much distance is moved. The distance moved from x-axis. Object is at this much distance from the x-axis, which is our y coordinate represented by y. What about here? Here we have the image P dash. X coordinate we got the same. Y coordinate, is it the same? Distance moved will be same because we know object distance and the image distance are same. Yes, when we consider a plane mirror. But what is the difference? Here it is moving towards a positive y direction. This is negative y direction. That difference is there. Therefore, we will be getting minus y. Which means when the reflection is in the x-axis, x coordinate is also called abscissa. Abscissa remains the same. X coordinate does not change. No change. What about y coordinate? What is happening to y coordinate here? There is some change. What is the change? Y becomes minus y. If it was 1, 1 becomes minus 1. Sign changes. Sign changes. So, this transformation we can represent as a point Pxy. The reflection we represent by M, and along the x-axis, here we write x. When this transformation happens, we can either represent it by like this, mx of point Pxy. When this transformation happens, we get P dash. P dash, x is the same, the difference is for y coordinate, minus y. P dash x minus y. Okay. So, when a point is reflected in the x-axis, the sign of its ordinate or the y coordinate changes. X coordinate remains same. Let us take an example. If I am giving you a point 2, 1. This is our point P. Point P 2, 1. When it is reflected in the x-axis, what is P dash? We can easily find. When this reflection happens, x coordinate remains the same, y coordinate sign changes. Here x coordinate is 2. For the image we get x coordinate 2. What about y coordinate? Sign changes. 1 becomes minus 1. This is the only difference. Okay. Now I will give you another point Q. For this point Q, we have coordinates 5, 3. What are the coordinates of Q dash image when the reflection is happening in the x-axis? 5 will be the x coordinate, y coordinate sign changes. Here we have 3, 3 becomes minus 3, correct, it becomes minus 3. If you have another point, let us say R, the coordinates are 5 minus 2, 5 minus 2. When the reflection happens, where do we get the image? Image R dash. X coordinate will be the same, 5. Y coordinate sign changes. Here we have negative 2. In the earlier examples, object y coordinate was positive, it becomes negative. Here we have negative in the y coordinate of object, it becomes positive. Minus 2 becomes 2. Understood the reflection in x-axis? X-axis is also known as y equal to 0 axis or y equal to 0 line. If in the question it is given, reflection is in y is equal to 0 axis or y is equal to 0 line, you have to remember this. Y equal to 0 line is the x-axis. Okay. We studied the reflection of point in the x-axis. Next is the reflection of point on y-axis. When you know how to do in the x-axis, we can easily do in y-axis. Let us consider the coordinate axis x, O, x dash, y, O, y dash. Here we are considering the y-axis or the vertical axis as the plane mirror. Y-axis is our plane mirror or the mirror line. Also we call them mediator. Now we will consider a point P here, P, X, Y. Okay, this is our point P, X, Y, XY coordinates. Now where is the image formed? Here we have a plane mirror, an object is placed here, then the image will be formed here. Yes, therefore this is where image is formed. Let us see what the coordinates of this image are. Here we have X. What is X? X coordinate is the distance the object moved from the Y axis. This distance. Here when you consider the image has moved some distance from the Y axis. That is also similar to the X only. The same value we will get. What is the difference? Here it is a positive X axis and here it is along the negative X axis, which means the sign should change. Here if it is X, we will be getting minus X as the X coordinate. The opposite we got in the case when the reflection is in X axis. What about Y coordinate? Y coordinate is the distance moved from the X axis. Here the point P has moved a distance of Y from the X axis. The same distance it has moved along the Y axis. Yes, we can put Y here. This is the positive Y axis. In the negative direction it is not moving. From this what can we conclude? When the reflection is in Y axis, X coordinate sign changes, abscissa sign changes, Y coordinate remains same. Okay, what is happening to X coordinate? X coordinate sign change. Y coordinate no change. Y coordinate remains the same. Clear? This point is clear? For reflection in X axis, X coordinate no change, Y coordinate sign change. When the reflection is in Y axis, X coordinate sign change and the Y coordinate there is no change. From this we can conclude when a point is reflected in the X axis, the sign of its abscissa changes and the ordinate remains same. Okay. Let us take some examples now. If I am giving you a point 2, 1. Point P is 2, 1. What is the image when the reflection happens? We can write MY. Reflection we represent by M along which line? Y line. Okay. For a point AB, we get, when this reflection happens, we get minus AB. Y coordinate is same, X coordinate sign changes. Minus AB. Here A is 2, B is 1. We are taking this AB just for understanding. So, here we have A is equal to 2. Then for P dash, our A will be minus 2. X coordinate is minus 2. Y coordinate, here we have 1. Y coordinate should be the same, 1. Okay. Let's take another point, 5, 4. When this 5, 4 reflection is in Y axis, what do we get? Coordinates. X coordinate sign changes, 5 becomes minus 5, Y coordinate remains same, 4. Got it? Got the concept? Next is reflection of point at origin. Let us take this case. Consider our X and Y axis, X, O, X dash, Y, O, Y dash. Take a point somewhere here, I will take a point P, X, Y. When the reflection is in X axis, we studied that the X coordinate remains same and Y coordinate sign changes. When the reflection is in Y axis, X coordinate sign change, Y coordinate remains same. Now, when the reflection is in origin, we will be considering a mirror like this. Here is the mirror. Okay. Where is the image formed then? In the opposite side, image will be formed. Yes. Our mirror is along the origin, then image will be formed in the opposite side. That is somewhere here. What are the coordinates? Here, just the opposite is happening, right? X, this is the distance it moved in the X. Here the distance moved along the X axis is this, which is here it is positive X axis and here it is negative X axis. Therefore, X becomes minus X. What about Y? Point P is above the X axis. Distance moved is above the X axis. And for the image, the distance moved is below the x-axis. Yes, here it is positive y, therefore here it should be minus y. From this we can conclude that x coordinate and y coordinate sign changes when the reflection is in origin. We represent it as m along origin, reflection along origin for a point A, B with coordinates A and B, x coordinate A, y coordinate B. The image will be minus A minus B, coordinates of image will be minus A minus B. Understood? When a point is reflected in the origin, the sign of its abscissa and ordinate both change. When a point is reflected in the origin, the sign of its abscissa and ordinate changes. Let us take some points. Point P, 5, 9. Reflection is happening along the origin. We represent MO, 5, 9. What do we get? Both the sign changes, that is sign of the abscissa and the ordinate should change. It becomes minus 5, minus 9. Just put the negative sign. Okay. If for a point Q, we will be taking 2, 3. Reflection in origin. What happens? Q dash will be minus 2, minus 3. Another point R, minus 3, minus 8. Negative signs are there. Negative becomes positive. Only difference is the negative become positive. R dash, minus 3 becomes 3, minus 8 becomes 8. Okay. Now understood the concept? Reflection is in x-axis, reflection in y-axis and reflection in origin. A small concept that is remaining is invariant point. What an invariant point is? Any point that remains unaltered under a given transformation is called an invariant point. Is there a point like that? When the reflection is in x-axis, we know y-coordinate changes. When reflection is in y-axis, x-coordinate changes. And when reflection is in origin, both x-coordinate and y-coordinate changes. Then what is this invariant point? Let us see. Here we will be taking the x and y axis, x, O, x dash, y, O, y dash. Okay. I am considering a point P here. What are the coordinates of P? Here it has moved a distance from the y axis. Then we get the x coordinate, x. What about y coordinate? Y coordinate is 0. Okay. For this point P, P, x, 0, reflection happens along the x-axis. Then what are the coordinates of the image P dash? When reflection happens in the x-axis, we know x-coordinate remains the same and y-coordinate sign changes. Here, x-coordinate is x, y-coordinate sign changes. What is y-coordinate? Y-coordinate is 0. Does the sign change here? 0 does not have a positive sign or negative sign. Therefore, we get 0. Now, check the point and the image. P, coordinates of P are x and 0. Coordinates of P dash are also x and 0. There is no change. This is an invariant. This is an invariant point. Coordinate is remaining the same even though the reflection has happened. Now, take another point here. Q. What are the coordinates of Q? This Q lies along the y-axis, which means the x-coordinate should be 0. All the points along the y-axis, we know x-coordinate will be 0. There will be some value for y. For this point Q, 0, y, reflection happens along the y-axis. What do we get? We get image Q dash with coordinates along the y-axis. We know here we have 0. This 0 sign should change. Yes, the x-coordinate sign should change when the reflection is in y-axis. Y-coordinate remains the same. Y-coordinate will be y. 0 cannot be changed. It is 0. This is again an invariant. Here point P and Q are invariants. Understood what invariant is? Yes? Okay. Let us take some examples for a point A. 5, 0, reflection is in x-axis. What do we get? A dash along x-axis, therefore x coordinate should remain same, 5, 0. This is an invariant. Next, B, 0, 8 along y-axis. What do we get? B dash along y-axis, y coordinate should remain same, x coordinate sign should change. Here we have x coordinate 0, therefore image will also have x coordinate 0. Now what about a point C with 0, 0? Point C is the origin. In that case, reflection is happening in x-axis. When reflection happens in x-axis, the image found, x coordinate should remain same. Here x coordinate is 0. Y coordinate sign should change. Here it is 0. Therefore, 0. Now, what if for the point C, 0, 0, the reflection is in y-axis? What do we get then? Here the C dash is. Along y-axis, y coordinate should remain same, 0. X coordinate sign should change, that is 0. Now, if for the same point C, reflection is in origin, then what happens? What is C dash in that case? In origin, when the reflection happens, sign of both x coordinate and y coordinate should change. Here x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is also 0. Therefore, the image will be having coordinate 0, 0. From this we understood that for the point origin, when the reflection is in x-axis, y-axis or the origin, the image will be having the same coordinate, which means the point is an invariant point. By now we know what is reflection along x-axis, reflection along y-axis and reflection along the origin. Let us take an example. The triangle A12, B44 and C37 is first reflected in the y is equal to 0. What is y is equal to 0 line? Yes, all the ordinate or the y coordinate is equal to 0 along this line. That is our x-axis, right? X-axis. On to triangle A dash, B dash, C dash and then triangle A dash, B dash, C dash is reflected in the origin onto triangle A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. Write down the coordinates of first one A dash, B dash, C dash and the second A double dash, B double dash and C double dash. So here we have the x-axis. This is our x-axis, x, o, x dash. This is our y-axis, y, o, y dash. This is positive, this is negative. Here we have positive, here we have negative. Let us mark some points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Along the positive y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Along the negative side of x-axis, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. Along the negative y, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. Okay. Now, first we have the coordinates of triangle side ABC. A12, B44, C37. Let us locate them. A12, along the x direction, we have to move 1 point. Along the y direction, we have to move 2 points from the origin. Here we have 1 and here we have 2. X-axis 1 point, along the y-axis 2 units. Okay, this is our point A. Now, B44, along the x-axis we have to move 4, along the y-axis we have to move 4. That too along the positive direction. We will be getting 4, 4. This is point B. Now point C, 3, 7. X coordinate is 3 and y coordinate is 7. Here we have 3, here we have 7. So this is our point C. We got ABC, triangle ABC. Now we have to find the coordinates of A dash, B dash, C dash. Okay. We have to find the coordinates of A dash, B dash and C dash. Here the reflection is happening along the y is equal to 0 line, which is our x-axis. This is x-axis. Consider this x-axis as a mirror. Now something is placed here. The reflection will be appearing here, right? Which means the x-coordinate will remain the same. Only the y-coordinate changes. The positive y-axis changes to negative side. Okay. A dash. Here the x-coordinate is 1. X-coordinate will not change. It will be 1. What about y-coordinate or the ordinate? Ordinate's sign should be changed. Here we have 2. It becomes -2. Where is this point A dash then? 1 along x-axis, -2 along the y-axis. This is our point A dash. Next, B dash. X-coordinate should remain the same. Y-coordinate sign change. 4 becomes -4. Where is this point then? Here we have 4. This is our -4. -4, 4. This is point B dash. Next, C dash. Again the x-coordinate or the abscissa is same. Ordinate changes. 7 becomes -7. Where is the point then? Here we have 3. Here we have -7. This is C dash. We got the triangle A dash, B dash, C dash. Actually, this graph is not required. For you to understand the reflection, I have used this graph. This x-axis is the mirror in this case. Reflection of this is this. Yes? Clear? Now, to find A double dash, B double dash, C double dash, we are going to find the coordinates of A double dash, B double dash and C double dash. Here, the reflection is happening along the origin. What happens when reflection is along origin? Both the sign of ordinate and the abscissa should change. That is, the signs of x-coordinate and y-coordinate should change. Here, we have A dash, B dash, C dash. This triangle, it is undergoing reflection along the origin. Here comes the mirror. Then where is the image formed? Just opposite. This side, the image will be formed. Let us see. Here, A dash is 1 minus 2. Change the sign of both x-coordinate and y-coordinate. 1 becomes -1, -2 becomes 2. Then B dash. B dash, we have 4 minus 4. It becomes -4. -4 becomes +4. Next, C dash. 3 minus 7. Change the sign. 3 becomes -3 and -7 becomes +7. Where is this point? Let us locate them. First, A double dash. -1, 2. Here we have -1. Here we have 2. This is A double dash. Okay. Next, B double dash. -4, 4. This is -4. Along x-axis, -4. Along y-axis, we need 4. 4 units. -4, 4. This is point B double dash. Next, C double dash. -3, 7. Along x-axis, -3. Along y-axis, 7. This is C double dash. On joining them, we get the required triangle. Now just check the reflection along x-axis. We have got the image of ABC, triangle ABC, which is A dash, B dash, C dash. Now this is undergoing reflection along the origin. Here comes the mirror. This will be our mirror. Here when you draw a line, we'll be getting a mirror. You see this? The reflection of this we are getting here. A dash, B dash. The reflection of this we are getting here. Reflection of triangle A dash, B dash, C dash is A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. Okay? Understood? Next, example 2. A point P is reflected in the x-axis. Coordinates of its image are 8 minus 6. The coordinates of the image are given. That is, when a point P is reflected along the x-axis, the coordinates of its image are given. Find the coordinates of P. We need to find the coordinates of P. And the second question, find the coordinates of the image of P under reflection in the x-axis. We'll just make a rough figure. This is our y-axis. This is our x-axis. Okay, x, O, x dash, y, O, y dash. Now, The point P is reflected in the x-axis. X-axis is a mirror. We know the coordinates of its image. 8 minus 6. Let us take 8 minus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minus 6. This is a negative x-axis. This is a negative y-axis. Therefore, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. We will be getting, here we will be getting the image point. Yes, will represent P dash. 8 minus 6. Reflection is along the x-axis. So, here we have the mirror. Image will be formed here, which means point P should lie above this. Yes. What about the x coordinates and y coordinates of P? We will be getting somewhere here, which means the x coordinate will be same, only the y coordinate changes because the reflection is along the x-axis, right? P 8. 8 is the x coordinate. What happens to the y coordinate? Just the sign changes. Here we have minus 6. It becomes plus 6. Therefore, the coordinates of P are P 8, 6 when a reflection happens along the x-axis. The x coordinate remains the same and the y coordinate sign changes. Here we had minus 6 for the image, which means the original point P will have the ordinate 6. Next thing, find the coordinates of the image of P under reflection in the y-axis. Here we have y-axis, they are undergoing reflection along the y-axis. Now the mirror is y-axis. When this reflection happens, what happens? X coordinate or y coordinate, which changes? Reflection is along the y-axis, that is, we will be getting the image somewhere here, right? Y coordinate will remain the same. Here, what is the y coordinate? The image will have the same y coordinate. We will consider it as point P double dash. Y coordinate should remain the same, which is 6. What about x coordinate? Here we have x coordinate 8. The reflection is along the y-axis. Yes, here we have the mirror. Image is formed here, which means the sign of the x coordinate changes. 8 becomes minus 8. Therefore, for point P double dash, that is when P undergoes reflection along the y-axis, we get P double dash, the point or the image formed when the reflection happens along the y-axis is minus 8, 6. We got the coordinates. Understood? Now let us solve problems from exercise 12a. Here we have the first question. Complete the following table. Some points are given, 2 transformations are given and the image points are also given. We have to fill in the blanks. First point, 5 minus 7. We have to find the transformation in this case. Image is given, minus 5, 7. Now check the coordinates. That is, we have to check the ordinate and the abscissa. What change has happened? Here we have x coordinate 5, it has changed to minus 5. Similarly, minus 7 has become plus 7. That is, side of both abscissa and the ordinate has changed. What type of transformation has happened here? Reflection is along x-axis, y-axis or origin. Correct. Reflection is happening along the origin. Reflection along origin. Okay. Here the reflection is happening along origin because sign of both the abscissa and ordinate has changed. Now the second one, here we have to find the coordinates of the image. Point is given 4, 2. Reflection is happening along the x-axis. When the reflection is happening along x-axis is considered as the mirror. Yes. Then the x coordinate or y coordinate, what change happens? X coordinate will remain the same. Only change happens to the y coordinate. We have x coordinate 4. Y coordinate, sign of the y coordinate should change. Here we have 2. 2 becomes minus 2. Correct. 2 becomes minus 2. Okay. Now the third one, here we have to find the point. Transformation is given, that is reflection is happening along the y-axis. Reflections in y-axis. And the image point is 0, 6. Along y-axis, this is y-axis. Y-axis is considered as the mirror. In that case, x coordinate will change and the y coordinate will remain the same. Here x coordinate is 0. We cannot change the sign of 0, right? It remains as the same, 0. What about the y coordinate? Y coordinate will not change because reflection is happening along the y axis. It is 6. Same point, right? Now the fourth one, 6 minus 6 is a point. We need to find the transformation and the image is minus 6, 6. That is x coordinate. Check the x coordinate, 6. Here it is minus 6. Here we have minus 6 as the y coordinate. Here it becomes plus 6. Sign of both x and y coordinates are changing. Then what type of reflection? Reflection along the origin. Along origin. Sign of both x coordinate and y coordinates are changing. Now the last one, here the point and the image are given. Point is 4 minus 8 and the image is minus 4 minus 8. Okay. Y coordinate is not changing. X coordinate is changing. Y coordinate does not change, which means what type of reflection is happening here? Reflection is happening along the y axis. Correct. Only when the y coordinate remains same, the reflection will be happening in the y axis. X coordinate is changing, 4 becomes minus 4. Therefore, here the reflection is along y axis. Got it? Understood? Now, when a point is given and the transformation is given, we can find what the image is. Or when transformation and image are given, we can find the point. Point and image are given, we can find what type of transformation has happened. Okay. Next, problem 2, question 2 of exercise 12a. A point P is its own image under the reflection in a line L. Describe the position of the point P with respect to the line L. Okay. Let us consider this graph. Here we have the x-axis and this is our y-axis. Now, what is given? A point P is its own image under the reflection. When the reflection happens, point P is its own image. That is, the coordinates of point P and the coordinates of the image of point P are the same. Okay. Describe the position of the point P with respect to the line L. Let us consider the line L as x-axis and I am considering a point here. Okay. This is my point P. What happens? Reflection is happening along the x-axis. If the reflection is happening along x-axis, we know that the y-coordinate will only change and the x-coordinate will remain the same. Yes. Here I have taken the point P as 3, 0. X-coordinate should remain same. For the image, it is P dash will be 3. What about y-coordinate? Sign of y-coordinate changes when the reflection happens along the axis. Yes, along the x-axis, sign of y-coordinate should change. Here we have the y-coordinate 0, which means P dash will have y-coordinate 0. Now check the coordinates of P and P dash, they are the same, right? Reflection has happened, but still the points, the coordinates of P and P dash are the same. That is when reflection has happened along this x-axis. Now let us consider a reflection along y-axis. I have taken a point Q here. Okay. What are the coordinates of Q in this case? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Along y-axis 9, along x-axis 0. 0, 9. Reflection is happening along the y-axis. We have to find the coordinates of Q dash. Okay. When this reflection happens along the y-axis, the y-coordinate remains the same. Here the y-coordinate is 9. Sign of x-coordinate should change. Here we have 0. What is the negative of 0? It is 0 itself. So we will be getting Q dash as 0, 9. That is, the coordinates of the image is also same when the reflection has happened along this y-axis. So what can we conclude from this? Describe the position of the point P with respect to the line, which means in the first case we have taken P along the x-axis. Okay, that is, the point is lying along the x-axis along which the reflection is happening. When reflection is happening along x-axis, point P will be lying along this x-axis so that the image will have the same coordinates of P. P and Q I have taken just examples for you to understand. Now similarly, when you consider the y-axis, reflection of Q is happening along the y-axis. In that case, the coordinates of Q and the image will be the same. Understood this? I have taken just this example. Okay, that is the reflection is happening along the axis which we have considered, or along the axis on which this point lies. Then the image will be having the same coordinates. Okay. Next, problem 3, question 3 of exercise 12a. State the coordinates of the following points under reflection in the x-axis. Here the reflection is happening along the x-axis or the horizontal axis. Okay. Along this axis the reflection is happening, which means the mirror is the x-axis. Now, when the reflection happens along the x-axis, we know that the x coordinate remains the same and the sign of y coordinate changes. Here in the first question we have 3, 2. Then what are the coordinates of the image? We need the coordinates of image. For the first question, x coordinate will be the same. We have 3 along x-axis. When the reflection happens, x coordinate will be same, 3 itself. Y coordinate sign should change. Here we have 2. What happens to 2? 2 becomes minus 2. Minus 2. Okay. These are the coordinates of the image for the first question. Now the second one, image coordinates we are going to find. Again, reflection is happening along the x-axis. X coordinate should remain same. Here we have minus 5, therefore minus 5 itself. Y coordinate sign should change. Here we have 4, it becomes minus 4. Now the third one, here we have 0, 0. X coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 0. Then can we change the sign? No, right? We don't have minus 0. We will be putting 0, 0. X coordinate should remain same and we cannot change the sign of the y coordinate. It is again 0. Got it? Here the reflection is happening along the x-axis. We are considering the mirror as the x-axis. Next, problem number 4, question 4 of exercise 12a. State the coordinates of the following points under the reflection in y-axis. Vertical axis we are considering. This is our mirror. Okay, y dash. Some object or something that is placed here will have its reflection or the image formed here. Or if the object is here, the image will be formed here. The first we have coordinate 6 minus 3. X coordinate is 6 and y coordinate is minus 3. Along the y-axis, when the reflection is happening, y coordinate remains the same and x coordinate sign changes. Here for this first question, image coordinates are, x coordinate should change. We have 6, it becomes minus 6. Just say change the sign. Minus 3. Minus 3 will remain the same. Y coordinate should not change. Okay. The second one, image. Here x coordinate is minus 1. It changes to plus 1. 0, 0. 0 itself. Okay. Next the third one, minus 8 minus 2. Along y-axis. Y-axis is our mirror. Minus 8 minus 2. X coordinate sign should change. Here we have minus 8. It is 8. Okay. Minus 2. Y coordinate minus 2 remains the same. Minus 2. Therefore, the image of 6 minus 3 along the reflection happening along the y-axis is minus 6 minus 3. Then the second one, minus 1 0. When the reflection happens along the y-axis, we get 1 0. Third one, minus 8 minus 2. Reflection, the image is 8 minus 2. Okay. Next problem 5, question 5 of exercise 12a. State the coordinates at following points under reflection in origin. Here, reflection is in origin. Minus 2, minus 4. What happens when reflection is along the origin? When reflection is in origin, the sign of both x coordinate and y coordinate changes. Therefore, the image, first one, minus 2 is the x coordinate, it becomes plus 2. Minus 4 is the y coordinate, changes to 4. Therefore, for the first coordinates, minus 2, minus 4, the image is 2, 4 when the reflection is along the origin or reflection is in origin. Next, minus 2, 7. Change the signs. For the second one we get minus 2 becomes plus 2. 7 becomes minus 7. Now the third one, 0, 0. 0, 0 is our point origin. X coordinate is 0 and Y coordinate is 0. What happens when reflection happens along the origin? Again, the image is 0, 0. Okay. Next, problem 6, question 6 of exercise 12a. State the coordinates of the following points under reflection in the x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 line. Which is a line? Yes, y axis. Therefore, the reflection here is happening along the y-axis. This vertical axis is our mirror. When this reflection happens, first we have point minus 6, 4. X coordinate is minus 6 and the y coordinate is 4. Now, when the reflection happens along the y-axis, what happens? Y coordinate should remain the same and x coordinate sign should change. Therefore, here image for the first one, minus 6, 4 becomes, y coordinate is same, therefore 4, minus 6 becomes plus 6. Now the second one, 0, 5, point is 0, 5. 0, 5, along which axis does the point 0, 5 lie? X coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 5. The point lies along the y axis. Now what is the reflection of this? Y coordinate should remain the same and x coordinate sign should change. Here we have 0 as the x coordinate, it remains 0. Then y point which is 5. Next the third one, x coordinate is 3 and y coordinate is minus 4. Changing the sign of the x coordinate, 3 becomes minus 3 along y axis. When reflection happens, y coordinate remains the same which is minus 4. Therefore, for the first coordinates minus 6, 4, we are getting image 6, 4. Second, 0, 5, the image is same 0, 5. Third, 3 minus 4, the image is minus 3, minus 4. Okay. Next problem 7, question 7 of exercise 12a. State the coordinates of the following points under the reflections in the y is equal to 0 line. Y is equal to 0. All the y coordinates are 0. The line is our x axis. Along x axis, all the ordinates or y coordinates are 0. Horizontal axis, x, x dash. First point, minus 3, 0. Where is the image formed for minus 3, 0? Along the x axis, the reflection is happening, which means the x coordinate remains the same. We have minus 3. Y coordinate is 0. 0 is as it is because we cannot change the sign of 0. Now the second one, here is the image form. The image and the point are the same. The coordinates of image and point are minus 3, 0. Now the second, 8 minus 5. X coordinate should remain the same, 8. Y coordinate is minus 5. Changing the sign, it becomes 5. Now the third one, minus 1, minus 3. X coordinate should be minus 1 when the reflection is happening along the x axis. Minus 3 becomes 3. Okay. Now, when we solve these questions, we understood what happens to the sign of the x coordinate and y coordinate when reflection is along the x axis, y axis or origin. Clear? Remember these things, that is x is equal to 0 is y axis and y equal to 0 line is along the x axis. Just remember this point as well. Next problem 8, question 10 of exercise 12a. The points PAB is first reflected in the origin and then reflected in the y axis to P dash. If P dash has coordinate 4, 6, evaluate A and B. We have a point P, given it is AB. It is undergoing reflection in the origin. Okay. In origin it is undergoing reflection, which means the sign of the x coordinate and y coordinate should change. Yes, here we have x coordinate A, it becomes minus A. And then the y coordinate is B, becomes minus B, because here the reflection is along the origin. Now what happens? This point minus A minus B is again undergoing reflection along the y-axis. When the reflection is along the y-axis, the y-coordinate remains the same and the sign of x-coordinate changes. Yes, here we have minus A, it changes to A, minus B. Y-coordinate is minus B, it remains the same, minus B. Now that point is given, which is P dash. Yes, the point PAB is first reflected in the origin and then reflected in the y-axis to P dash. If P dash has coordinate 4, 6, evaluate A and B. Therefore, we know the coordinates of P dash. P dash is 4, 6. We have found that the coordinates of P dash should be A minus B. Now compare them. A is equal to x coordinate of P dash. A is equal to 4. What about B? We have minus B is equal to 6, which means B is equal to minus 6. Therefore, the points or the coordinates of point P, PAB will be equal to P4 minus 6. Okay, P4 minus 6. Understood? First, the reflection is in the origin. We have to change the sign of x coordinate and y coordinate. A, B becomes minus A, minus B. Then the reflection is in the y-axis. In the y-axis, when the reflection happens in the y-axis, the y coordinate remains the same, minus B. X coordinate changes sign, minus A becomes A. Now that point we know, which is P dash. P dash is given 4, 6. We are comparing A with 4 and minus B with 6. We get 4 minus 6 as A and B. Got it? Next, problem 9, question 13 of exercise 12A. The point A46 is first reflected in the origin to point A dash. Point A dash is then reflected in the y-axis to point A double dash. Write down the coordinates of A double dash. First, the reflection is in the origin. We have point A46. When the reflection is in the origin, what happens? Sign of both the x coordinate and the y coordinate should change. A becomes A dash. Coordinates are 4 becomes minus 4. Y coordinate 6 becomes minus 6. Changing sign. Now what happens? Again, A dash is undergoing reflection in the y-axis. Along the y-axis, A dash is undergoing reflection. Along y-axis means the y coordinate remains the same and the sign of x coordinate changes. We get A double dash. Y coordinate, here we have minus 6. X coordinate should change. X coordinate is minus 4. Sign becomes, changing the sign, we get 4. This is A double dash. Now, for the first question, the answer, we have to find the coordinates of A double dash, which is 4 minus 6. Now, what is the second question? Write down a single transformation that maps A onto A double dash. That is, the image of A should be A double dash when we do a transformation. It can be the reflection in x-axis, reflection in y-axis, or reflection in origin. Now, check A and A double dash. A we have 4, 6. A double dash we have 4 minus 6. What is the change happening here? X coordinate is remaining same and y coordinate, the sign of y coordinate is changing. When x coordinate remains same, which reflection it is? Reflection is happening along the x-axis, correct. So, here along x-axis, that is reflection in x-axis, image of A is A double dash, which is 4 minus 6. Okay, understood this? Problem number 10, question 14 of exercise 12A. The triangle ABC, where A is 2, 6, B is minus 3, 5 and C is 4, 7 is reflected in the y-axis to triangle A dash, B dash, C dash. Triangle A dash, B dash, C dash is then reflected in the origin to triangle A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. Write down the coordinates of A double dash, B double dash and C double dash. Here we have a triangle ABC. Let us consider this is a triangle ABC. Coordinates of A, B, C are A coordinates 2, 6, B minus 3, 5 and C 4, 7. It is undergoing reflection in the y-axis. When it undergoes reflection in the y-axis, we get another triangle A dash, B dash, C dash. Okay. Now the mirror is the y-axis in this case. Okay. Since the mirror is y-axis, we know that the y-coordinate remains the same and the sign of x-coordinate changes. Then what are the coordinates of A dash? Y-coordinate should remain the same. It should be 6 here, for B dash 5 and for C dash 7. Sign of x-coordinate should change. Here x-coordinate is 2, for A dash it becomes minus 2. Here we have minus 3, we get plus 3. Here we have 4, therefore for C dash it becomes minus 4. Okay, we got the coordinates of A dash, B dash, C dash. Now again what happens? It is undergoing reflection in the origin. In that case, we will be getting a new triangle A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. What about the points? What happens here? Here the reflection is in the origin, which means the sign of both x coordinate and the y coordinate should change. X coordinate for A dash we have minus 2, it becomes plus 2. 6 is the y coordinate, minus 6. Here the y coordinate is minus 6. Now B double dash 3, 5. 3, 5 becomes minus 3, minus 5. C dash minus 4, 7. It becomes plus 4, minus 7. Got it? So this was our first question. Write down the coordinates of A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. The coordinates of A double dash are 2, minus 6. B double dash we have minus 3, minus 5 and C double dash we have 4, minus 7. Now the second part of the question, write down a single transformation that maps triangle ABC onto triangle A double dash, B double dash, C double dash. Here we have the coordinates of A, B and C. A is 2, 6. A double dash is 2 minus 6. X coordinate is remaining the same and the sign of y coordinate is changing. Check B and B double dash. B coordinates minus 3, 5. B double dash, the coordinates are minus 3, minus 5. C we have 4, 7. Here it is C double dash 4 minus 7. What is the change happening? X coordinate is remaining the same. The sign of y coordinate is changing. Then what type of a transformation is happening here? The single transformation happening here. X coordinate is remaining the same, which means along the x axis the reflection is happening. Reflection in x axis. Got it? Reflection in x axis. Okay. Problem 11, question 15 of exercise 12A. P and Q have coordinates minus 2, 3 and 5, 4 respectively. Reflect P in the x-axis to P dash and Q in the y-axis to Q dash. State the coordinates of P dash and Q dash. First take the point P. The coordinates are minus 2, 3. Here the reflection is in the x-axis. In the x-axis, it is undergoing reflection. We get point P dash. X-axis is a mirror, which means the x-coordinate remains the same, minus 2. Y-coordinate sign changes. Here we have 3, 3 becomes minus 3. So, the coordinates of the image of P when the reflection is in the x-axis are minus 2, minus 3. Now, the second we have Q, 5, 4. Here the reflection is in the y-axis to get image Q dash. Y-axis, it is undergoing reflection. We get Q dash. What are the coordinates of Q dash then? 5, 4. Y-axis. Y-axis is a mirror, which means the y coordinate remains the same. Here we have 4. y coordinate in this case. It is 4. 5 becomes minus 5. The sign of the x coordinate changes when y axis is the mirror. Okay. The sign of the x coordinate remains same when the reflection is in the x axis. Okay. Clear? Next, problem number 12. This is our last problem for today. Question 18 of exercise 12a. The point minus 5, 0 on reflection in a line is mapped as 5, 0 and the point minus 2, minus 6 on reflection in the same line is mapped as 2, minus 6. Name the line of reflection. Second question, write the coordinates of the image of 5, minus 8 in the line obtained in A. Okay. The point minus 5, 0, we are taking a point minus 5, 0. On reflection in a line is mapped as, that is, the reflection happens. Let us take this point as P dash. It is mapped as 5, 0. And the point, another point, minus 2, we are taking Q, minus 2, minus 6. On reflection in the same line, we don't know what the line is mapped as 2, minus 6, that is Q dash. Name the line of reflection. Here what is the change happening? P to P dash. X coordinate changes from minus 5 to 5, which means the reflection is happening along the y axis. Yes, because the x coordinate is changing. Reflection should happen along the y axis, that is y axis should be the mirror. Y axis is the line of reflection in this case. Next, this part, here minus 2 changes to 2, minus 6 remains as minus 6, that is x coordinate is changing, y coordinate is remaining as it is. Therefore, here again we get y axis, as it is already mentioned that the same line, which means it should be y axis. Y axis is our mirror or y axis is a reflection line. Okay, or line of the reflection. Next, B question, write the coordinates of the image of 5 minus 8 in the line obtained in A. Now we know that the line obtained in A is the y axis. Okay, 5 minus 8 is undergoing reflection. 5 minus 8. It is undergoing reflection in the y axis. Then what are the coordinates of these points? These coordinates, here we have 5. X coordinate should change when it is along y axis. 5 becomes minus 5. What about this minus 8? Minus 8 becomes minus 8 itself, because y coordinate should not change. Only the x coordinate should change the sign. Clear? Understood everything? That's all for today. In today's class, we have discussed the chapter reflection. We have solved many questions from exercise 12a. I'll be back in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to LearnoHub. LearnoHub free hai, par best hai. Thank you.